2024 was the year of our Lord, but for cinema, oh Lord, did you pass this house ukibariki wengine. Every other piece of media had its moment last year. Music gave us Kendrick Lamar vs Drake, The Downfall of Diddy, Tyler the Creator and Beyonce Bowl. Video games, Black Myth Wukong, Helldivers 2, Taken 8, and Marvel Rivals with their one invisible woman skin. TV had the most fantastic year ever. The Boys, The Penguin, Baby Reindeer, Shogun, Arcane took over animation, and Squid Game Season 2 proved that Korean TV can box with the best of the best and started a worldwide debate that anime fans have had for a long time: sub versus dub. Speaking of anime, we had Dan Da Dan that had everyone thirsting over a senior citizen and bopping to that very infectious Creepy Nuts opening theme. Sports, we had the Olympics, and to even more serious matters, we had a Gen Z revolution in our country, challenging our government and setting the standard for anti-government protests all over the world. 2024 was a year of moments, but not for cinema. Now, what do I mean by a cinema moment? This is when a hyped up and wildly entertaining film blows up so big during its theatrical release that it goes beyond the theater, becoming so influential and creating a trend that everyone wants to be a part of, whether they're into movies or not. Something good for everyone, like Barbenheimer in 2023, everyone dressing in black and pink at the cinema and listening to Ice Spice 100 times a day on their Instagram stories. And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Or how everyone worldwide dressed up in African print for Woman King and Black Panther 2. The Spider-Man meme that came to live action in the form of Spider-Man No Way Home in 2021. Tenet saving cinemas during the pandemic in 2020. People screaming in theaters during that one scene in Endgame 2019, and so on. 2024 had nothing. The closest we got were Dune Part 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Wicked. And personally, I don't count these as cinema moments though, because they were quality films that served moments for their specific audiences, not for everyone. Dune 2 for sci-fi and fantasy fans, Deadpool 3 for comic book fans, and Wicked for theater and musical fans. This was a year where cinema was lacking in both quality and quantity, making 2024 one of the worst years for cinema. Most movies were prequels and sequels, and I can categorize them into 4 groups. In category 1, we have great movies like Dune Part 2. That's it. Your list imeisha hapo. Okay, chill. I'm just kidding. We had Dune Part 2, Inside Out 2, Sonic 3, Deadpool 3, Bad Boys Ride or Die, Wicked, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Then we have category 2, hyped movies that were terrible like Joker 2 and Madam Web. Category 3, which is the most of 2024 movies, highly anticipated movies that were entertaining but overall average. Godzilla x Kong, Bob Marley One Love, Argyle, Kung Fu Panda 4, Fall Guy, Venom 3, Ghostbusters, It Ends With Us, Gladiator 2 and Mufasa. And finally, we had great movies that were severely overlooked and undermarketed. The Wild Robot, Furiosa, The Color Purple, Monkey Man, Blue Lock Episode Nagi, Civil War, and the most tragic victim of all, Transformers 1. On top of that, we had fewer releases this year, with an average of 2 releases per month compared to 5 monthly releases in 2023. These releases were also so far in between that at times in the year it would feel like there's nothing new to watch in theaters. And the numbers back this up, seeing a projected 5% decline in global box office earnings. So you can see 2024 was not without its hits, but taking into account the fact that we had fewer movies which were spaced far out in between, and most of them were either terrible, average, or severely overlooked, then you see how we missed our cinema moment in 2024. And for my global audience, forgive me if I don't mention some highly revered film like The Substance or Nosferatu or any Bollywood film. I'm in Kenya, and here and in the East African region in general, we don't get some theatrical releases until later on or even at all, and have to wait for them to come to streaming. Our market is a hard nut to crack. If I'm gonna dress up, get into a matatu, and pay for a movie ticket and snacks leaving the convenience of streaming at home, then it better be for a worthy experience. A big budget blockbuster from a franchise, actor or director I know, and preferably in 3D. And the Lens Surgeon YouTube channel that I so ardently follow had better recommend it. Otherwise, I'm not doing all that for Nosferatu, Civil War, or The Substance. Please, that, my friends, is the reasoning of a typical Kenyan before leaving the house to go watch a movie in the theaters. Our entire movie-going experience is based on going outside for the best experiences and events. So when I say that we didn't have a cinema moment, trust me, I know we didn't have a cinema moment. But how did we get here? What brought about the lacking in film quantity and quality that made us miss our 2024 cinema moment? I can trace this all back to the 2023 writers and actors strike. In May 2nd, 2023, the Writers Guild of America held a strike to bring awareness to the decline in revenue and job security brought about by streaming services. Basically, the writers were getting less work as they worked less weeks because streaming services demand projects be completed fast. They are then sidelined from being on set during production, thus can't give creative feedback to actors portraying the characters they've written, and they get a paycheck only once, yet the project they worked on stays on streaming platforms for years.
You get a check.
The number of runs your show has, the size of the check decreases. The show is generating income for NBC Universal, and so you will see some of that income. Now streaming comes in, and there's a terrible formula based on a percentage of the sale from the studio to the streamer.
So it sits on the platform for a year and you get one check no matter how many times it's watched.
They also claimed AI was being used in writing rooms, which also affected their job security. With almost similar grievances, the actors joined the strike on July 14, 2023. So film production was halted because there was no one to write scripts and no one to star in films. The writers' strike ended in September, while the actors in November, but by the end of it all, the industry was on hold for like 6 months. We would have gotten Captain America: Brave New World, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning 2, MCU's Blade, and even Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. All iconic heavy hitters that had the potential to give us our cinema moment, but had to be rescheduled because the production was incomplete. And this whole fiasco proves one thing. Despite technology constantly evolving and improving each and every single day, we can never underscore the value of human talent. So treat your people right. The grass seems greener now, and 2025 is looking brighter, with the most awaited franchise releases like Avatar: Fire and Ash, Jurassic Park, Predator: Badlands, and from the world of John Wick, we get Ballerina. We're also gonna get fantastic movies whose cinema experience I think will be slept on, and now that you know, please don't sleep on them. F1, which was made by the producers of Top Gun Maverick, so I know for a fact the racing scenes will be adrenaline pumping. Mickey 17, directed by Bong Joon-ho, the director of Parasite, and stars the Batman actor Robert Pattinson. Black Panther director Ryan Coogler is dropping Sinners in March, starring Michael B. Jordan. We also have Danny Boyle's 28 Years Later and Karate Kid Legends, which are also promising movies to look out for. But for our cinema moment, my prediction is we will get it from either Fantastic Four, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, Wicked Part 2, or Superman. Fantastic Four may offer us a moment as we get to see the new villain and plotline for this new phase of MCU. And given RDJ's reveal as Dr. Doom last year, I hope CBM fans lose their minds in cinemas and get what they've been waiting for. Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning is rumored to be the final Mission Impossible movie, and I know Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Zs around the world will reunite to give Ethan Hunt a befitting send-off to a franchise that has entertained us across decades. Wicked Part 1 gave girl besties the chance to show off at the cinemas and also ended up being a good movie. So as the story concludes, those that missed out on the fun of Part 1 will definitely join in to get in on the action for Wicked Part 2. And finally, Superman. We went through 2024 without a cinematic universe project from DC, but in 2025, the world's most famous superhero gives us the first film to James Gunn's DCU, and with the success of Creature Commandos and the stylistic change to a brighter and more cheerful DC, Superman looks like a movie for everyone. And with that, the 2024 movie season comes to an end and we usher in a new one. One thing you should also get ready to see more of this year is me. When you're wondering if a movie is good enough for you to spend your money on in theaters, I will be there. When you've just watched a movie and you feel some type of way about it, but just don't have the words to describe it, I will be there. When you've just watched a movie and don't know what it was about, and you're about to Google ending explained, I will be there. You need to quickly throw out an opinion to earn some bragging rights when your mates are arguing about movies, like The Boogeyman, I will be there. And to make it easy for me to be there for you, like this video, talk to me in the comments about your thoughts on 2024 and your 2025 cinema moment predictions, and subscribe to the Lens Surgeon. And when our cinema moment comes, will you be there?